Hey everyone, Eric Olsen from Helps Law Firm for Seniors and Disabled. I'd like to welcome you to our YouTube channel today, March 17th, 2025. Hope you can hear me okay. Glad to have you here. Once in a while we do, well, quite regularly, we do videos with senior living on YouTube. And we did one that got published, I think, on Thursday or Friday. It looks like it's went viral for Helps, and it's had it was like 170,000 views, so that's a lot. And so it kind of gives an example how this information that Helps provides isn't getting out to seniors, and that's why it's important what we talk about. Our main message to seniors is this: your Social Security, your pension, your disability, your VA benefits is protected by federal and state laws. It can't be taken from you. It's available for your needs, for your food, for your medicine, for your utilities, for your rent, your transportation costs. It's even if you're sued, it's protected in your bank account. We explain how that's done. So I want you to know that you're going to be fine. If you have a question, you can look at our YouTube videos. You can always call Helps. And I've got a lot of things to talk about today. But as I was looking, I looked at a lot of these comments on these videos, on that video that went viral, and I thought, gee, it might be kind of good just to kind of go over these questions that people ask on the comments they make, because I can answer them. And some of the comments, people still have misconceptions, and we're here to clear those up. And if you have any questions, you can put them on the chat feature. I'll address those. So I'll just start right out, okay? If this is your first time listening, my name's Eric. I've been an attorney for 46 years, founder of Helps. Helps was started in 2012. For that, I probably filed 30 or 40,000 bankruptcies. Helps was started because a lot of seniors, they didn't need to file bankruptcy. They couldn't afford to file bankruptcy, and they didn't realize that they didn't really need to file bankruptcy. Why? Because their income was protected. No one could take it. Even if they got sued and there was a judgment, it was safe. But yet, if they didn't pay their debt, creditors could call and make their lives miserable. Well, as I explained before, there was a federal law passed in 1978 called the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. That law provides if you're represented by an attorney, debt collectors can no longer call or send you demand letters anymore. They have to leave you alone. Okay? This person commented, says, I'm turning 65 this month. My largest bill is medical. Do I have to pay them? Can they put a lien on my property or equity? Well, okay. Your income, your Social Security, your pension is protected from debt, including from medical debt. So, no, you really don't have to pay it. As far as them putting a lien on your property, if someone were to sue you, a judgment can become a lien on real property. It means land. It depends on the state where you live, okay? In some states, a judgment can't become a lien on your property. In some states, it can. In virtually no instance will they be able to take your property from you. It's not the practice of consumer judgment creditors to go after a person's property. They just simply don't do it. And a lot of states, if you have equity under what's called a homestead, which is the amount of equity that's protected in the state where you live, then there's a means for getting that judgment lien removed. So no, you shouldn't worry about them taking your property. That's not going to happen. Okay. Person writes in and they said, well, if I do this, it's going to tank my credit score. And it says, try renting a home or apartment. Well, your credit is based on your recent credit history. Helps, we have a program that we give to our clients who have been part of Helps for 90 days if they ask for it. It's called 7 Steps to a 720 Credit Score. You can rebuild your credit. Your credit is based on your recent credit history. Once a debt is written off, it becomes old. And within a year and a half to 2 years, you can build your credit right back up. Since about 2018, credit judgments and lawsuits don't even appear on your credit report. So, yeah, your credit, if you don't pay your debt, your credit will take a dive, but you can rebuild it up. And another thing that Helps provides for any senior, whether they're a member of Helps or not, we'll give them what's called what we call a landlord letter that tells a prospective landlord that even though you may have negative entries on your credit, all your income is protected, your Social Security, your pension, and it's available for you to be able to pay your rent. A lot of landlords don't understand that even if a senior has negative interest on their credit, no one can take their income, so they're going to have that money to be able to pay their rent. This person writes in, all good to hear, but what about the plans that are going on presently with DOGE control over Social Security and their current attempts to privatize it, especially in the mass firings? I think, we don't get involved with politics. That helps. We don't need to, but I do like to clear things up. The president has made it clear many times that Social Security is not going to be touched. There's no way your Social Security is going to be affected by anything that's going on with this government today, as far as your benefits being lowered or eliminated or anything like that. Not going to happen. Okay? Simply not the case. So nothing's changing because Trump is in office. Okay. So this person said, see they said this, what the attorney in the video didn't spell out and avoided by repeating your bank account is protected is that if you have $15,000 in your account and your income is $1,500 per month, $3,000 is all that's protected. And the debtor can take $12,000 out of the $15,000 and leave you $3,000. Only 2 months of the Social Security is protected, and the debtor can take anything amount. You'd better have a way to hide your money. Person didn't listen to me. Okay. Twice the amount of your federal benefits is protected automatically by your bank. Okay. Without you having to do anything. If you have more than that in there and there was a garnishment, the balance could be held up, but you can file what's called a challenge to garnishment or claim of exemption, and the court will order that money be released. So no, it just doesn't protect twice the amount of your monthly benefits. All your Social Security is protected, and a federal benefit so it can't be taken from you. And if you have more than twice the amount in your bank account, then you can file a challenge to garnishment or claim exemption to have it released. Okay. Now, most people don't have twice the amount in their bank account, and if you don't want it to be held up for any period of time while you file a challenge to garnishment, you could just pull it out and make sure that the balance is always less than twice the amount. But no, they can't take it. There's a way the court will order that be released. It's a good example. There's just a lot of misinformation out there, and that's what helps us here to clear up that information. I received a ticket for passing a red light in the amount of $270. Do I have to pay it? Well, if you don't pay it, what will happen is the court will probably report it to the Motor Vehicles Division, and they'll end up suspending your driver's license. So the answer is no, you really don't need to pay it, but you got to live with the consequences, which would be that your driver's license could get suspended. Person asks, well, what about back taxes? Well, I don't know if we talked about it in that video, but we talk about it a lot. If you owe the IRS taxes in your modest or lower income or poor, you can get on what's called currently not collectible status with the IRS. And you can usually have income about $2,500 or less if you're single, $3,500 or less if you're married, even a little bit more than that. And the closer you are to the poverty level, the easier it is to get on currently not collectible status. You can often get on that by just calling the IRS, waiting for 2 hours for them to pick up the phone. And sometimes you can just do it over the phone. Okay? Now, the most the IRS would ever do in almost any case would be to send you a notice that after 60 days they intend to offset 15% of your Social Security. And that would give you time to contact the IRS and get on currently not collectible status. I don't see the IRS going after people's pensions. Okay? It's pretty unusual for them to garnish a bank account for seniors. And a lot of times if you're a real lower income senior, I think the IRS computer system tells them that, and they know that trying to collect from you wouldn't make sense because you could get on currently not collectible status. So we don't run into a lot of seniors that are facing that have been notified that the IRS intends to offset 15% of your Social Security. Now, if you owe the state income taxes, your state income, your income is protected from a state tax collector, just like it's protected from a judgment creditor for a credit card. The state can't come after your Social Security or your pension. It's protected. I don't understand. Mr. Olsen is saying that my Social Security is protected, but what about Musk is trying to take it away? No, I mean, we don't get involved in politics, but I will say this. There's nothing being said about Musk or Trump or anyone trying to take away your Social Security. It's not going to happen. If someone told you that or you heard that, it's false information. I'm apolitical on these matters. I just tell you the truth. How old is a senior? You know, HELP stands for Help Eliminate Legal Problems for Seniors and Disabled Persons. It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 65, 70, 55. It depends on the source of your income. That's if it's protected. So we have clients that are in their 50s and 40s and even 30s that may be on disability long term and have debt they can't afford to pay. It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's see if you got questions on the chat feature here. If a senior, Mrs. H asks, if a senior took out a bank loan and can't afford to pay it now, are they liable for that loan still, or can they take your money? Well, if it's an unsecured loan, it's just like a credit card debt, and you know they could sue you, but they can't touch your Social Security or your pension or your protected funds. They can't take it. Now, if you bank there, if it's a credit union and you bank there, they could do an offset of your income, of your money that goes in there, because you signed an agreement with them letting them do that. If you owe money to a bank, normally they don't do that. So you could probably stay at the same bank and they wouldn't take money out of your account if you chose not to pay it, unless it's Truist Bank. Truist Bank have you sign a form that lets them take money out of your account if you don't pay the debt. Okay? Would a safe deposit be compromised in an account if the account was gone? Yes, it would be. They could put a hold on your safe deposit box. Depends on state law. What happens? In many states, the creditors has so many days to contact the bank and make arrangements to go in and drill the lock out to see what's in the bank account. It's just best not to keep anything of value in a safe deposit box that you're concerned about if there's someone that's suing you and there's going to be a judgment. If a 45-year-old is disabled and can't work, can they draw disability if they haven't paid into Social Security? So there's different types of Social Security. SSI is a type of Social Security that's almost like welfare. So if you haven't worked and you haven't paid into Social Security, they'll pay you a very minimal amount. It's usually around $800. It depends on inflation. It's not very much, okay? But yeah, there's a minimum amount that you could be entitled to. It's from SSI, okay? So cease and desist, lawsuit, then judgment. What steps this helps identifying an income is protected? Well, we identify your income is protected when you call us on the phone. And I'm telling you right now, if your income is Social Security, pension, disability, VA benefits, it's protected. Social Security has been protected since 1935. Your pension is protected normally under a federal law called ERISA, Employment Retirement Income Security Act of 1974. But most pensions are protected under that federal law, but if it's not protected under federal law, it'll be protected by a state law that protects your pension. Your 401k, your IRA is protected. Your disability income is protected. Workers' comp is protected under federal law. So, no, your income is protected. Okay? So this person writes in, I can see that homeowners insurance becoming a huge problem for seniors with a mortgage due to bad claim experience in the state they live. Banks require it for a mortgage. Yeah, it can be a problem. you know, there are certain bills that need to be paid. Property taxes, you know, property insurance, especially if you have your mortgage. You know, if you have a car payment, you want to keep the car. A lot of times that debt, you're able to pay it if you don't have to pay your unsecured debt, such as your credit cards. You could stop paying those. That might give you enough money to pay this other debt. Can the cease and desist letter be sent to a lender or wait to be sent to a debt collector? When people enroll in HELPS, maybe 1 out of 5 is being sued, 3 or 4 out of 5 are behind. They're getting notices from creditors or debt collectors, and 1 of 5 is completely current. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are when you enroll in HELPS. So if you enroll in HELPS, we have you give us your debt collectors and creditors to whom you owe money. We send a letter out to both. And it's our experience that an original creditor will still honor a cease and desist letter. They may still send you a bill, but they're not going to call you normally. Okay? So no, you don't have to wait till you get a notice from a debt collector to turn that into HELPS. No, I haven't seen that new commercial. Okay. Social Security can be seized for a student loan. Sure, but something can be done about it. You can file for income-based repayment plan, and the most a student loan would take from your Social Security is 15%. We don't see that happening very often, but if you have modest income, even a little bit more than what you're allowed for income taxes for the IRS, you can get on an income-based repayment plan, often be required to pay nothing on your student loan. This person says, there's a lot of attorneys that don't know this, what I'm talking about. That's true. Can you believe it? I've known this for years. My sister had to file bankruptcy, and she's a senior citizen, and her lawyer told me that this isn't true. He didn't know what he's talking about, or she misunderstood. I'm a senior in the state of Kansas, garnish my wages to pay back taxes. Well, yeah, they can garnish your wages, but what I was talking about is the money in your bank account. If the money in there came from Social Security, it's protected. Twice the amount of your Social Security deposited in your bank account is protected from a state tax collector, no matter what other monies are in there or where they came from. It says, this person said, no money to pay a lawyer to send a cease and desist letter. Well, you can send it yourself if you want to. You got to understand what HELPS does is, you know, we represent seniors nationwide who owe debt. They find out about us, they contact us. We ask them some questions. If they decide to enroll, they do. 1 out of 5 or 6 of our clients get our help for free. Those that pay a very minimal amount. We don't hear complaints about what HELPS charges, and you know, it's very, very, very extremely small. Okay. What about property taxes that I own on a home outright? Well, yeah, you need to pay your property taxes. In a lot of states, they have programs, if you're a senior or lower income, to put your property taxes either to be deferred or waived. Okay. Now, if you had a lot of equity in the property, or maybe it was free and clear, you could look at what's called a reverse mortgage that could provide to pay your past due property taxes plus pay your future property taxes. And then, depending on how much equity you have, give you a little line of credit to supplement your income. There's a lot of misinformation about reverse mortgages. I don't sell reverse mortgages, but I know a lot about them. In certain cases, they're an answer to prayer for seniors. And we have videos that talk about that. So this is an interesting one. I'm a collections attorney, although not inaccurate. He says, important information is missing here. This was the comment on this video I did with Senior Living. Judgment liens can be placed on real estate and foreclosed upon. Okay. Depends on the state. In 46 years of practice, 30 or 40,000 bankruptcies, I never once recall a client coming to me with a judgment lien where there was a foreclosure. Okay, first off, although it's theoretically possible in certain instances, it just doesn't happen. Let's say you own the property with a spouse and the judgment is just in your name. Can't foreclose. Let's say you have a home that's worth $200,000, but you owe $100,000 on it. To foreclose on it, they'd have to pay off the $100,000, which they're not going to do. Then he goes on, particularly if the real estate is fully paid off. Depending on state law, only a certain amount of money of regular savings. Okay. Everything he talks about here is pretty much, I could refute everything he says. But anyway. This person writes in, I'm going to make my husband watch this. We were about to file bankruptcy. We're so in debt. My husband is on the lowest Social Security and 70 years old, and I'm 61 and been disabled, being denied work as a nursing super. Okay. I'm currently, okay. We're terrified of losing your home. You're not going to lose your home. I've actually considered, okay, I don't want to talk about that, but they're just desperate. If you're desperate and you have questions in this area, please call us. We'll talk to you. We'll go over things with you. Okay. I have a notice of objection March 26th concerning my direct deposit taken for garnishment. Where can I get a laws explaining to the judge that 2 months are protected and that I'm exempt? Well, okay, so the rule is that your bank, if someone got a judgment against you and they filed a writ of garnishment on your bank account, the bank account to which your Social Security is deposited or a federal benefit like federal retirement, VA benefit, if you're a post office worker, but mainly Social Security. Twice that sum is protected automatically by your bank. Your judge doesn't have anything to do with it. The bank technically has 48 hours to examine your account to find out where the money came from, and then they have to release it. So if they're still holding on to the money after 48 hours, the answer would be that maybe you had a savings account into which Social Security was not deposited, and that account contains, and they held up that money. Then in that event, you'd have to file a challenge to garnishment or claim exemption to have the money released. Okay? Or call us on the phone, and we'll go over this with you. I understand where people ask the same question over and over again. That's the nice thing about Helps. Helps was started because under the principle that we would represent a senior disabled person that had these issues ongoing, and they could always call us with their questions. Okay. It doesn't do any good if I just represent people and tell them this stuff, send out a letter, and then say goodbye. No, we have to represent people ongoing. A couple of reasons. One reason is you're probably going to get another letter from another debt collector in 6 months, or in a year, or you may get sued. So there may be reasons where you need to get a hold of us again. We may need to send out a new cease and desist letter. I need to end early today. Again, on Mondays, I need to end at 40 minutes after the hour. So just warning you. But the rest of the week, Tuesday, Monday through Thursday, we do this same time. Tuesday through Thursday, it'll be a full hour, but at least for a couple weeks here, it's just going to be 40 minutes on the first hour, okay? On Monday, okay? How about a U.S. citizen, 80 years old, residing in Guam and paying a mortgage? Does it apply? Yeah, these laws are federal laws. We've got lots of clients that live overseas that we explain how their income's protected. They don't need to worry. Okay. This person writes in from Texas. I'm 80 years old with credit card debt. Due to life circumstances, I got behind and can no longer keep up with payments. I recently signed up with Clear One Advantage, a debt settlement company. I've been making payments to them. They claim they will attempt to settle the accounts. Is this legit? Am I throwing my money away? Well, in my opinion, you're throwing your money away. I don't know what your income is, but if you're struggling and you don't have a lot, you don't need to sign up with a debt management company like Clear. When you enroll with them, if you enroll with a debt management company, my question to you is this: Did they tell you when you enrolled, by the way, your income is protected? No one can take your Social Security. No one can take your pension. You can use this money for your needs. If they didn't tell you that, they were not giving you the complete information that you deserve to know. If they would have told you that, you would have realized you didn't need to enroll with them. So unfortunately, a lot of these debt management or debt settlement companies, they look out for their own financial interests, not for the interests of a senior. So this senior contacted us from Maryland. They say, I'm 64 years old. I still get Social Security and work part-time. But in the middle of the month, they only had $40 left. This is the monthly thing. My mortgage is behind and I need to get rid of my debt to stay on course. I'm also interested in being able to pay my utilities and car and mortgage. Can you assist me? Yeah, we can assist you. Call us and we'll explain how your income's protected. If you don't want to be harassed by these creditors, you can stop paying them. You can give them your creditors you owe money to. We'll send them a cease and desist letter out. They're going to leave you alone. We're going to talk to you. So you don't need to worry. Person writes in, I have a student loan, $33,000 from back in 28. I've paid 100% of the original amount. They live off Social Security, and there's no way they can continue to pay it. I've spoken to them, and there's much more on this, but I won't go on from here. Honestly, I've been waiting for them to garnish my Social Security because it wouldn't be less. But now I'm wondering if they can even do that. Any insight? So they don't have to give you a notice they intend to garnish Social Security, but we just don't see it happening. We talk to a lot of seniors with student loans, and since COVID, we haven't really seen it starting up for them taking Social Security. It may start up again, but if it were, you can apply for and should be able to get on what's called income-based repayment plan for Social Security and not have to pay anything, especially if your income is that low. Okay? I'm soon to be 63 years old on disability with an income of $1,200 a month, which pays only for my car, my rent, and my car insurance. My question is, for the tax year 23, I had a side job and got a 1099. I've not sent it in because I owe close to $1,000. I know I don't have the money. I'm aware I'm not saying it isn't good either. How do I write the letter or not having the money to pay those taxes because I don't have the money? Thank you for all the work you're doing. for seniors who don't understand the law and who worry about bills and whether or not they're going to be able to eat, take medicine, or pay a credit card. Thank you very much. Okay. The person may need to not even worry about it. Okay. They owe a little bit of taxes maybe on a 1099-C from several years ago. I mean, you're supposed to file your taxes, but this is such a small amount, probably nothing would ever happen. And you can always choose to file the taxes. And your income's low enough now, if you ended up owing the taxes, you don't need to pay it. The IRS will probably never contact you. It's too small. And if they were, you could get on what's called currently not collectible status based on your income being as low as it is. Okay? But we'll talk to you about this. We don't want you to worry. This person contacted us from Michigan. Looks like they're almost 70 and they've suffered from mental issues for a while. And I'm alone and have been isolated for many years. I was on total disability from before 2014. And I started buying things on credit cards. It seems to make me feel better. My home is in shambles in the process of diagnosis and treatment for, you may have cancer. There's $30,000 in credit card debt. I'm terribly depressed and have a hard time talking about my problems and frankly don't know what to do or how to proceed. I cannot afford to buy food. Oh, well, this guy wrote into us and this is his message and he gave us his phone number. We're going to call him back and we're going to tell him that he doesn't have to worry about the credit card debt. Okay? He can use his money for his medicine and his food. He doesn't need to worry about the credit card debt. And we'll talk to him about a lot of other things. But if you're in this situation and depressed about your situation, give us a call. You know, we never judge anyone. All the information we have is good information. You know, we want to help people. That's what we're here for. We're not here to judge you or criticize you. So, you know, the only reason you go in front of a judge is if you had more money than twice the amount in an account, or you had the money into a bank account where Social Security wasn't deposited, then it wouldn't be automatically protected by your bank. Then you can file what's called a challenge to garnishment or claim of exemption. You need to do that right away. There's usually a time limit for when you do that, and the sooner you do it, the better. And then you can present evidence to the judge that shows that, hey, this money that's in this account came from Social Security, therefore it's protected, and the judge will order it be released. Now, this doesn't happen very often with helps clients. Most of our clients are pretty good about seeing that they keep their account less than twice the amount. But if it did, you know, you get a hold of us. We'll send we'll tell you how to fill out that form. It's pretty simple, okay? The challenge of garnishment. And then we'll reach out to the attorney that did the garnishing and give him the proof that your income was protected. And the vast majority of times they go ahead and release the garnishment at that point and let you have the money. They don't make you have to go to court. Okay? Okay. This person writes in, I'm 69 years old on a fixed income. I own my home, no mortgage, and I'm married, and my husband is retired, soon to be age 70. We have debts that are overwhelming. I suffered a stroke last year. If I file bankruptcy, can my house be taken? I'm currently working with a debt settlement agency. There's so many of these guys out there. AmeriCorps, an Advantage Law, and I'm somewhat disappointed. Yeah. Did they tell you your income was safe? No. It's been close to 2 years and one loan settlement has gone absolutely nowhere other than the court with no change in the debt owed. Please help. Okay. So they say the debt is overwhelming. Okay. They own their home free and clear. Are they going to take the home? No. I forget what the homestead exemption is in Ohio, but it doesn't really matter. You know, if the judgment was just against one of you, the other one, they're not going to take your home. It's not going to happen. You don't need to be with debt settlement or debt management. You know, when you enroll in HELPS, we're going to send a letter to these creditors that are going to leave you alone. If your income is Social Security and a pension, it's protected. No one can take it. You're going to be fine. We'll go over it in detail with you, why you're going to be okay. You don't need to worry. This person contacted us from Texas. Need help with deductible charges, hospital-related charges, ambulance, etc., etc. Yeah, you know, when you're on Medicare and stuff, they pay for a lot of the doctor bills and a lot, but you know, like 80% of the hospital bill. But what about the 20%? And the same with your doctor, or maybe or an ambulance. Well, if you're on, you don't need to pay it. If you're on Social Security or a pension, it's your income's protected and used regularly. You may not want to. You may want to just keep paying him a token amount, so you can still keep seeing him. I wouldn't want to send him a cease and desist letter. He could get offended and may say, well, maybe I don't want to see this person anymore. Okay. Person from Virginia contacted. I have no money after monthly bills are paid. I am behind on my personal property taxes on my car. What can I do? Late penalties are accumulating. Well, okay. Like I said, if there's certain bills that need to be paid, like property taxes, and you know, maybe there's a tax you have to pay annually for your car in Virginia. Well, if you don't have to pay your other debt that I've been talking about, maybe you're going to have the money to be able to pay those past due property taxes on your car. And I'm sure that Virginia has a system in place. If you're late, that you may have to pay a late fee, but you can pay that. Okay. We just got a couple minutes and then I've got to end today early, but I'll be here tomorrow. Remember, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always call us, okay? When people call us, you know, we ask some questions about your situation. We save the information. It's all confidential. And some people call us 2, 3, 4, or 5 times and look at our videos or look at our YouTube page until they're satisfied that, yeah, HELPS is the answer for me. We don't turn anyone away, and we want to be able to answer your questions. Person contacted us from Idaho. I'm 69 years old. I had to quit doing work because of my medical condition. My credit cards have 30% interest rate, skyrocketing. I don't have any extra income. I'm living in an old travel trailer on a spot on acreage. I can barely pay the payment for the space rent. Looking for advice on that as well. Well, okay, if you're 69 and getting Social Security or pension, disability, or VA benefit, your income's protected. You don't need to pay that debt. And then maybe that's going to give you enough money to be able to handle the payment for the space rent. Okay? We talk about other things. Sometimes we'll tell a senior, we'll talk about Section 8 housing. We talk about other things as well. You know, our main purpose is to protect seniors from collector harassment. Our second mission is to educate seniors how they can maintain their financial independence. And that's one reason we have these YouTube live videos. So I got to go. I will see you tomorrow, same time. If you want to look at that video on senior living that went viral, you can. Our phones are going to be really busy today. I know that. But we're growing, and you know, a lot of seniors need this help, and they have no idea. A lot more seniors should be calling us than they do, because they don't know, they don't realize this help is available. So we always ask our clients to share what HELPS does with others. Have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And I apologize if I haven't answered your question. You can put them in the chat feature or on the comments, and I'll try to answer them there later. Have a great day. God bless. Bye. you.